little video showing what I've done to my mk4 Mondeo. I'm replacing the speakers. This is the faulty speaker here. 3 out of the 4 speakers are actually faulty, so I've decided to swap them for something different. Now, I didn't want to buy some second-hand original speakers because I figured they'll just blow again. I'm only using the standard headset, and these are just rated at 20 watts. I already had a set of Sonys that rated at 30 watts, and I think these are going to be ideal for the car. So I'm going to place these in the front. But I bought some JBLs, and these are rated at 45 watts, and I kind of regret buying them now. I think I should have looked around and bought something with a lower wattage. So I'm putting these two on the back, and I'm putting these two on the front. Now what I've done is I've started to remove the foam strip from around here using a chisel, and then I'm just going to cut around here, flip them over, and using my multi saw like that, and go all the way around, and that will just leave me this as a skeleton cage where I can mount the speaker in. I will then solder the terminals up. They're marked plus and minus on the back. You can't see it, but there and there, plus is on the right, minus on, negative is on the left. And so I will solder a wire from that point there to here, and then just place them back in. By doing this, I can just use the original connector here, which is just a pass-through up to the original tweeter. So the original tweeter will go. I don't need to buy any adapter plates, and I've already done one on the back using the JBL, but I'm now going to do the Sony and put on the front of the car. Okay, well that didn't take 2 seconds to do. So now here is my cage, and that fits really nicely over there. So all I've got to do is just screw that onto there, and then just solder a wire from there across, one there, and then fit that into the car. Now with the JBLs, they're a little bit of a different setup. There's a bigger magnet, and just generally bigger, to be honest. So to do this one's a bit of a nuisance. What I've had to do is turn it sort of slightly offset, and then put a wire across. Otherwise these terminals foul on this metal, which is a bit of a nuisance, but it's not really a problem. Like I said, now I know I should have just bought two 30 watts rather than the two 45s, and it would have been a lot easier, I think, but you live and learn, as they say. Okay, these are the screws I've used. Those are just some big-headed self-tappers I had lying around, and I drilled a hole. Now, a tip really is don't screw them in. Just get them started. So get the first one started, then drill the next hole and get that one started, and then drill the next hole and get that one started. It makes it so much easier to line up. So what I plan to do is, I've got a bit of silicone kicking around somewhere, so I'm just going to put a little bit of silicone, a few little blobs just around the edge, and then I'll tighten the screws up. And then I'm going to go in now. If you can see, it looks like the original wires that I cut off the speaker, I can just solder them on. I'm quite lucky. On the JBLs, I had to get some speaker wire and put the strands across and solder up, but on these I think I can just use what's already there, so that's a bit of a result. Here's me Sony speaker. I've managed to get the phone back on. I just used super glue, just ordinary super glue. I flipped the foam over, so the rough side at the top where I cut it off. So I turned it over, put some bits, just some little spots of super glue around, put it on. Just as it was sort of sticking, I flipped it over onto a flat surface and sort of pressed down for about 10 seconds, and it stuck on. Bit of a fiddle, but it's on. I've soldered up. I don't know if you can see, just using, I'm not the greatest solderer, but it's on, just using the little bits of wire that are already there. So it's just a case now of screwing this back in place, connecting it up with the original connector into the original socket. As you can see, there's four pins. I think 2 of them drive this speaker, and 2 of them is a straight pass through to the tweeter here. Looks. There's plenty of videos on the internet telling you how to get the door panel off. It's fairly simple, but the tweeter, it just slides off, and then a few screws around the edge, cut the Torx, 2 in the door handle and one here. But watch the other videos and that'll show you how to get it off. So I'm going to put this on now, and I'll get it going. Okay, I fitted the 4 speakers. I'm really pleased with how they sound. There isn't a lot of difference between the Sonys on the front, the 30-watt Sonys, and the 45-watt JBLs on the back. There is a slight difference in sound between the two, but both perfectly fine. So whatever on that, whatever you can get sort of reasonably priced. The JBLs cost me £30, so if I was in the market for 4 speakers, I'd quite happily just buy 4 of them and fit them. I'll just play a little bit of music so you can hear what it's like. And you get complaints from the neighbours. It's really quite loud. That's only on 12. We'll go for it. You get the general idea. So there you go.